When I married Rachel, I thought I had found my lifelong partner. We built our dreams together, bought a house, started saving for the future, and made promises we thought we'd never break. But promises are fragile things when trust starts to fade. I began noticing changes, small, almost invisible cracks that only someone in love would feel. Late-night texts, quick smiles at her phone, and sudden, extra hours at work. My heart wanted to believe her, but my mind whispered something else. One evening, I decided to surprise her with dinner. I showed up at her office with her favorite food, expecting to see her smile. Instead, her coworker told me she had left hours earlier. I stood there frozen, food in hand, realizing the truth I didn't want to face. That night, she came home late, smelling of cologne that wasn't mine. She lied again, saying she'd been with her boss, working on a project. I didn't argue. I just nodded, already planning what I'd do next. For weeks, I quietly gathered proof. Receipts, text screenshots, and even photos from a private investigator I hired. Every image felt like a knife, but I didn't confront her, not yet. I wanted to end this marriage the right way, with dignity and control. If she had chosen lies, I'd choose silence and planning. I decided to create what I called the divorce plan. The plan was simple but precise. I would gather enough evidence, transfer shared assets into safe accounts, and consult a lawyer without her knowledge. I wasn't going to scream, cry, or beg for explanations. I was going to let her see the truth when it was too late to fix anything. A month later, I had everything ready. The lawyer was prepared, my accounts were separated, and I even made copies of all evidence. Then, one night, she slipped up. She told me she'd be working late again, but I already knew where she really was, a restaurant on the other side of town. I drove there, parked across the street, and saw her laughing with a man I recognized from one of the photos. They held hands, oblivious to the world. I didn't go inside. I took one last picture and left. I wasn't angry anymore. I was just empty. That night, I didn't sleep. I printed the photos and placed them neatly in an envelope labeled Truth. I left it on her pillow the next morning and went to work as usual, pretending nothing had happened. That evening, when I returned home, the envelope was open. She was sitting on the couch, pale and shaking. "You followed me?" she asked, voice trembling. I looked at her calmly and said, "No, Rachel. You exposed yourself." I just opened my eyes. Tears rolled down her cheeks as she tried to explain. She said it was a mistake, that she felt lonely, that she didn't mean to hurt me. But how could someone, accidentally, betray trust over and over again? I listened in silence, then handed her another envelope, the divorce papers. "This is my answer," I said quietly. "You can sign them when you're ready. I've already moved out." Her eyes widened, realizing I had prepared for this long before she suspected anything. The shock on her face was the final confirmation that I had done the right thing. I moved into a small apartment that same week. It was quiet, almost too quiet, but peaceful. For the first time in years, I could breathe. Friends told me I should feel angry, but all I felt was relief. I had loved her deeply, but sometimes love isn't enough when respect is gone. Months passed. She tried contacting me several times, saying she wanted to talk, to apologize, to fix things. I ignored most of her messages, except one where she said, "I didn't think you'd actually leave." That line stuck with me. She had mistaken my kindness for weakness, and my patience for blindness. When the divorce was finalized, I didn't celebrate. I just quietly closed that chapter. I donated her leftover belongings, deleted our old photos, and focused on rebuilding my life. It wasn't easy, but healing never is. A year later, I ran into one of her old co-workers at a cafe. He told me she was no longer working at that company. Apparently, her affair had become public, and both she and the man lost their jobs. I just nodded, feeling no satisfaction, only closure. Life had already punished her in ways I never could. Now, when people ask why I'm single, I smile and say, because peace is better than pretending. My divorce plan wasn't about revenge, it was about freedom. It was about walking away from deceit without losing my self-respect. Rachel taught me a painful lesson: love can't survive without honesty. I once thought marriage was about two hearts beating as one, but I learned it's really about two people walking side by side, and if one walks away, the other must let go. And that's exactly what I did.